Hello everyone and welcome to Cloud9 Blessings, and in this video we are going to talk about the upcoming lunar eclipse that is scheduled to make its arrival on November 18th and November 19th. I also want to delve into its significance because this will be the longest partial lunar eclipse of the century, and it is due to take place this week, and this gorgeous phenomenon will be visible in all 50 states. So join me as we take a journey, going back into time, knowing the significance of lunar eclipses. What do they mean in the sky? And are they a sign of the return of Yeshua Hamashiach? So let's start looking into biblical terms what this means. The moon also turns red in the second chapter of Joel, where the titular prophet describes the day of the Lord. The prophetic passages describe the manifestation of God in the end days, followed by natural disasters and cataclysm. Joel 2:29-33 reads, "Even on my servants, both men and women, I will pour out my spirit in those days. I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and billows of smoke. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord." This lunar eclipse could be that very sign because it is one of the longest in decades that has been shown to last at least 3.5 hours in the sky, and the moon will be completely blood red. Not to mention, we are already hearing and seeing wars and rumors of wars. We are seeing all kinds of things happening all around us, all over the world. The eclipse is mentioned again in the Gospel of Matthew, where a solar eclipse is connected to the end times. Matthew 24:29-30 reads, "Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven." Another passage in Ezekiel 32:7 reads, "And when I extinguish you, I will cover the heavens and darken their stars. I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon will not give its light." Another scripture to think about is in Revelation 8:12, and it also reads, "The fourth angel sounded, and 1/3 of the sun, and 1/3 of the moon, and 1/3 of the stars were struck, so that 1/3 of them would be darkened, and the day would not shine for 1/3 of it, and the night in the same way." In Luke, we also see a sign here. Luke 21:25, "There will be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and on the earth dismay among nations in perplexity, at the roaring of the sea and the waves." I believe that as Christians, many of us can sense and even see that we are in the end times. And these signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, including this lunar eclipse, could be a very strong indication that Yeshua Hamashiach will be here at any moment, and we know that that is imminent. We know that many people reading the Bible have been excited to see something like this take place. And many people from all over the world are going to get to experience this in a few days. And how exciting is it to see all of Bible prophecy jumping off the pages of the Bible? The longest partial lunar eclipse of the century, as I stated, will be within the next few days between November 18th and the 19th, and the gorgeous phenomenon will be visible in all 50 U.S. states. NASA forecasts that the almost total eclipse of the microbeaver full moon will last around 3 hours and 28 minutes, being at approximately 2:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. UTC. Reaching its maximum around 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. UTC, and ending at 5:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10:47 a.m. UTC. The reason why they call it the micro beaver moon is so named because it occurs when the moon is at the farthest point from Earth and in the lead up to the beaver trapping season. The partial lunar eclipse happens when the Earth's shadow covers 97% of the full moon and will be the longest of the century by far, dwarfing the duration of the longest total lunar eclipse of this century, which took place in 2018 and stretched to 1 hour and 43 minutes. The forthcoming eclipse will also be the longest partial eclipse in 580 years, according to the Holcomb Observatory at Butler University in Indiana. Lunar eclipses happen when Earth slides between the moon and the sun so that our planet's shadow eclipses or falls on the moon. The shadow can block all, or in the case of a partial eclipse, most of the sun's light and paint the moon a dark rusty red. This reddening of the moon happens because the light from the sun, despite being directly blocked by Earth's umbra, or the darkest part of its shadow, bends around our planet and travels through our atmosphere to reach the moon. Earth's atmosphere filters out shorter, bluer wavelengths of light and allows red and orange wavelengths through, Live Science previously reported. After these red and orange wavelengths pass through the Earth's atmosphere, they continue traveling to the moon, bathing it in deep mahogany red light. Now, I want to add that if you want to dig deep into getting the exact timings for your location, you can visit timeanddate.com. The eclipse will be visible from North America and the Pacific Ocean, Alaska, Western Europe, Eastern Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. Though the early stages of the eclipse occur before moonrise in Eastern Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, eclipse watchers in these regions will be able to see the eclipse as it reaches its maximum. Conversely, viewers in South America and Western Europe will see the moon set before the eclipse is at its peak. Unfortunately, none of the eclipse will be visible from Africa, the Middle East, or Western Asia. Other areas may find clouds blocking the view of the moon, so checking the weather reports ahead of a planned viewing is a must. Lunar eclipses tend to happen twice a year, and there will be a full lunar eclipse scheduled between May 15th and 16th of 2022, followed by another one between November 7th and 8th later that year. What an exciting time for us to be here on earth as a Christian. If you ask me whether or not I thought that this had any significance to the Lord's upcoming return, absolutely yes, because these things were already foretold to happen, and we're starting to see things fall right into place biblically. We know that we are in the season of the Lord's return, so keep looking up because our redemption draws nigh. I hope that this video blesses each and every one of you. Thank you for watching, and God bless.